We have made it to year number 2 of the Cleveland Browns franchise here on Madden 26. Last episode, of course, was the NFL Draft. In case you missed that episode, I would recommend checking out the series playlist where you can find any episode of the series you may need to catch up on. I appreciate all the support on the draft episode. You guys seem to really enjoy it. Obviously, those episodes take a lot out of me to create, but I really enjoyed seeing all the reactions to the picks, including number 1 overall. We decided to keep the top pick, drafting the Heisman Trophy winner, Kieran Riddle, the quarterback from Alabama, who we believe can be the face of the franchise going forward. A one-year wonder with the Tide, but a damn good 1 year after 3 seasons at Virginia Tech, leading Alabama to the national championship, really carrying Alabama with their defense being not particularly good. The other top quarterback, Zarius Stone, went 2nd overall to the Carolina Panthers. We will see him not only in week 2 of the regular season, but in week 1 of the preseason. We had Wambley Mendoza go to the Cardinals. That was a surprise. Isaiah Timpf to the Rams, and the other quarterback in the first round was Brennan Holloway with the Steelers. With our other first rounder from Jacksonville, we stuck at number 18, drafting Dorian Sahara, the wide receiver from James Madison. There are other receivers who have been getting more hype, guys like Jalen Davies-Landiner of South Florida, Moses Lexington, and Trey Lawson of Alabama, all of whom were still on the board. But Sahara is a guy who's put up elite production in 3 seasons with the Dukes, really impressed me during the Combine. Sure, we haven't really seen him dominate against power conference competition, but I think physically what he can provide with and without the ball in his hands, we could be looking at a special receiver and a great player for Kieran Riddle to throw the ball to. As for the rest of our draft, we traded out of our top 2nd round pick. We moved down. We selected Kosumi Bigman, the young defensive tackle out of Oregon, who's going to help clog rushing lanes and maybe provide us a little juice as a pass rusher. Tanner Mariani and Jonah Ritter were our 2 third-rounders. Dominic Proctor in the 4th has hit in development, as does John Trey Hickson, the former Virginia Tech wide receiver. We had to get a Hokie in there. Kieran Riddle's former teammate and close friend, the 2 of them now reunited. These are the players we signed in undrafted free agency, and then we added a few other veterans as well. Needed to add some more running backs, for instance. I signed Bam Knight. I also added a kicker. Paul Kasharchik out of the University of Maryland will challenge Dustin Hopkins' spot.
A new rookie class has joined the team. There are a lot of hopes for this group, and one player was drafted to make an immediate impact in the lineup.
I wonder which player they're going to show here. I wonder which one of our rookies they're going to highlight to start this season. That is not a rookie. Jeremiah Owusu-Koramoah is in his 6th NFL season. Now, granted, he's missed a lot of time recently. He missed all of last year. So we are adding a new player to the linebacking room, which is a big deal given how pathetic our linebackers were in the second half of the year. But JOK is not some rookie. He's been around the block. He's played at a pretty high level in the NFL before. So I'm not sure why we're talking about him like he's some random rookie.
Some turmoil threatens their roster in the early season. A challenge has been made for a top spot on the depth chart. Competition breeds success, but coaches will decide how far the competition goes.
Is it just me, or would Rich Eisen be perfect on National Geographic? He narrates like he's dissecting wild animals in the safaris of Africa. Anyway, let's talk to Kieran Riddle, our number 1 pick. He believes he can be the next leader of the franchise. We love to hear it. I'd like a chance to start this year. What do you think? Well, the plan with Kieran Riddle is, obviously we would like him to start, but he has to earn it. It'll be a quarterback battle between him and Shedeur Sanders. Both of them will play all 3 games of the preseason, and both guys will have an opportunity to earn the right to be our starting quarterback. Shedeur Sanders was very respectable the final 6 games of the year last season, and had we not finished with the worst record in the NFL, there's certainly a chance we would have never drafted a quarterback this year and instead rolled with Sanders. He will get the start in the first preseason game. I feel like Shedeur has earned the opportunity to go first, given that, he played last year and played at a relatively high level. So he will play with the ones. Kieran Riddle will start the second preseason game, and then we'll kind of go from there with the last one. I asked you guys at the end of the last episode if you wanted to see the preseason, and it seemed like there were more yeses in the comments than nos. So that's why I've decided to split up the start of the regular season with the preseason. I'll go through what the schedule is going to look like for uploads at the end of the episode, but long story short, we're going to be getting through the regular season hopefully pretty quickly. So don't worry that we're not starting the regular season today. Here we are against Carolina. Big drive for Shedeur, Sanders, and company. The Panthers are starting the rookies, Zarius Stone, the top 2 draft picks playing against each other in preseason, and they will again in week 2. Dorian Sahara, his first catch as a Brown, goes to the 50. He's so good after the catch. My player comparison in the draft episode was Kyrie Irving. The way he moves around, he's so shifty at his size. Big Derek Brown with the tackle for loss on Bam Knight, the veteran running back, looking to crack a spot on the roster behind Judkins and Sampson. 3rd and 11. Sanders connects with Jabari Thrash. I feel like these two guys have a lot of chemistry last year, and if Shedeur Sanders does win the starting job, Jabari Thrash could easily be the wide receiver 2 or 3 as a result. Great throw up the middle. Jontre Hickson to the 6-yard line. The former Virginia Tech Hokie had a really good senior season with us. Over 900 yards through the air. Hickson again into the end zone for a touchdown. We got very used to this with the Hokies. Jontre Hickson puts the Browns on the board. Really good drive by Shedeur Sanders. He was very impressive. In the second quarter, look who's in the game for the first time. Kieran Riddle, the number 1 pick out of Alabama. 3rd and 8, Riddle up the middle. Diving catch by Isaiah Bond. Not a great throw, but Bond is able to level out and make the grab. 2nd and 7, Quinshon Judkins in at running back. It's a screen for Judkins with a nice block to the outside with a juke move inside the 10. Really nice play there by Judkins. I'm not going to give him too many reps in the preseason. We kind of already know what he is, and the same can be said for Dylan Sampson. I'm very excited about those guys as a duo. Riddle should have been intercepted. That was a really bad throw in the back of the end zone. Yikes, we dodged a bullet there. 3rd and goal. Riddle scrambles around on the run. Kieran Riddle, first NFL touchdown, is scored with his legs. Really nice run there by Riddle to add to the lead for the Browns. Let's fast forward a little bit. We will jump in late in the first half. A 2-minute drill, really a 1-minute drill for Kieran Riddle in the offense. 2nd down, he looks to throw it. Riddle scrambling wide open. It's Bam Knight out of bounds at the 38, stopping the clock. Kieran Riddle can move. He's got legs for a guy who's 6'4", 220 pounds. Judkins, juke move. Judkins finds the hole. He was really impressive at the end of last year. He was a completely different player from the start of the season to the finish. A full season of Judkins playing well is going to be really exciting. Riddle scrambles to the right side on the run. It's caught inside the 10. Nearly a touchdown for Kylan Granson. Unable to keep the feet in. 2nd and goal. Riddle under pressure. Jabari Thrash. That's like 6 or 7 catches in the first half for Thrash. Kieran Riddle with his first passing touchdown in the preseason. A nice end to the first half. Let's move into the 3rd quarter now. The offense still trying to get some things going. A big 3rd down here in the 4th as we look at a 3rd down and 2. Riddle remains in the game. He's played overall pretty well in his debut as he'll go short. Granson inside the 25, nearly at the 20 as he's tackled out of bounds. That's Cobbs injured on the play, the undrafted rookie guard from Ohio State. I think he's got a real shot to make the roster, so it's a shame that he's banged up. Riddle steps up, scrambles, looks to run it in, and he does. 2nd rushing touchdown in the preseason debut for Kieran Riddle. That'll make it 27-10. We'll see if Carolina with the backups, Michael Pratt, their quarterback, the former Tulane standout, as they march down the field, score a touchdown. Now we've got to pick up the onside, which we do. Gage Larvidane, the young receiver from South Carolina, was on the practice squad last year, is the one who makes the play. So now Carolina's moving it again after getting a stop. They scored again, and they're within 3. Now they have the chance for another onside kick, and they bobble it and get it. But there's one problem. Carolina touched the ball before it had reached 10 yards. And so the onside recovery will not count. We'll accept the penalty. We'll keep the ball, and we'll take the win. 27-24, the Browns over Carolina. The Panthers will get an opportunity for revenge, though. Again, week 2, we could see the first and second overall picks battle it out, assuming they win the job, although it's not really a competition in Carolina, unlike here. Although, oddly enough, Zarius Stone was not very good. 1 for 6 for 10 yards. Michael Pratt, 3 touchdowns. Maybe there is a QB controversy. I thought both of our quarterbacks played well. Shedeur was really efficient, made some impressive downfield throws. Riddle, 11 of 18, 143, a passing touchdown, along with 2 rushing scores on both of his carries. He had a good game on the ground. 7 for 61 and a score for Thrash. Hickson looked pretty good. Granson, a couple of big plays. Quiet debut for Dorian Sahara, minus the 1 big reception. And then defensively, minus the end, the defense was pretty good. Nice to have Jeremiah Owusu-Koramoah back out there. He wasn't supposed to play that much in this first game, but he still ended up having 7 tackles. It's good to have him getting his feet back after missing all of last year and a pretty decent chunk of seasons prior. So let's talk it over here with one of the assistants. This offseason with our line went even better than expected. Very nice. I guess with the offensive line, adding Trent Brown, adding some rookies like Jonah Ritter in the 3rd round. I mean, we largely brought a lot of the guys back, but oh well, I guess I'll take it. In the film room for week 2 against the Commanders now, our coach says to Kieran Riddle, we were looking for a lot more from you in that game. I mean, were we? I thought he played pretty well. He made some good throws, couple of rushing touchdowns. I mean, obviously he's capable of a lot more, but I thought he looked pretty good out there. So as I mentioned, Kieran Riddle will start the second game. I think we're going to have him play the entire first half against Washington's starting defense. This will be a big test for him to prove if he is ready to go right away as the starter. Because again, unlike a lot of teams who are picking number 1, we have a guy in Shedeur Sanders who's very capable, and I'm more than okay with starting for as long as we need to as Kieran Riddle adjusts to the level of NFL play. So we're going to jump in late in the first quarter. Our defense needs a stop. I still want to play some of the moments defensively, get a look at some of these younger guys, and take a look at other position battles. 3rd and 9, Daniel steps up. Daniel scrambles. Daniels is in for a touchdown. That was an issue too often last year. Now, luckily, Jeremiah Owusu-Koramoah and Carson Schlesinger were both not in the game there. Otherwise, I'd be a little more concerned. Still not ideal as we jump into the second quarter. We just had a 28-yarder from Riddle to Jontre Hickson, and we've now got it in the red zone. Talib Bashar, the undrafted rookie from Bowling Green State in the backfield, gets the ball, and he is thrown down for a loss of yardage. It's Frankie Luvu who brings him down. 2nd and 12 now. Riddle looks to throw it. Riddle scrambles, rolls to the left side, looks to run with it, gets a block from Bashar, and Riddle fighting for the first down. He gets it. Kieran Riddle has looked to run it often so far in the preseason, and generally it has worked. 3rd and inches. They did not give him the first down pardon. Riddle now rolls to the right, and he will slide for an easy gain. If you're going to give him room to run, he will take advantage. He is pretty fast. 1st and goal from the 6. Browns looking to punch it in, make a dent on the scoreboard with a receiver in motion. Play action, a trick play for Jabari Thrash with a spin move, but he still loses 3. That didn't quite go to plan. Good play there by Jack Gibbons with the tackle. Now it's a 3rd and goal at the 8. Riddle looks to throw it. End zone. No, it's broken away for Zahara. Unable to haul it in. Jordan Whitehead with the deflection. And here's the field goal unit. Paul Kasharchik, the undrafted rookie out of Maryland, looking to take Dustin Hopkins' spot. I didn't think Hopkins was very good last year, and I wouldn't mind getting a younger guy in there who we think might end up being better. So the offense finally on the board. They would add another touchdown to take the lead late in the first half, and now it's a 2-minute drill. I mean, not really. The Commanders have it at the 15. So it's really about managing the clock smart, not letting the Browns get the ball back with too much time. Although wide open is Deebo Samuel to the 2. That was horrendous coverage by Quentin Lake, who's supposed to be the second starter at safety, along with Grant Delp at the Pro Bowler last year. What a hit! In the backfield, it's Josh Paschal, who we're hoping will be our second edge rusher with the TFL on Brian Robinson. Short throw, Terry McLaurin in for a touchdown, and the Washington Commanders regain the lead. It's 24-10. A 1-minute drill for Kieran Riddle in the offense. Let's see what he can do battling against the clock in a big spot. 3rd and 2, Riddle up the middle, had time, connects with Hickson. Jontre Hickson to the 36. A hometown reunion for Riddle, for Hickson, for Sahara. All of these guys are either from or have played in the general DMV area. Dumps it off for Judkins, who gets the first down. Sometimes the best throw you can make is the easy one. And let the playmakers make a play after the catch. Now from the 25, Riddle looks to throw it. Riddle scrambles around on the run. No one's open. Riddle, he's going to keep it himself. He's out of bounds with the first down to the 13. Kieran Riddle, a native of Baltimore. Ironic that he got drafted by an AFC North rival as he connects. First rounder to first rounder. Dorian Sahara's first NFL touchdown. And the Browns take the lead with 12 seconds left in the first half. A 1-minute drill executed perfectly by Kieran Riddle and the rookie receivers in the end zone for the first time. Late in the third, Shedeur Sanders now in at quarterback after a really strong first half from Kieran Riddle against the Commanders' starters. Sanders looks to throw it. Sanders surveys the field. He had an open receiver earlier. Instead, lobs it up. Njoku's got it! In for a touchdown! I don't know why David Njoku's in the game, but that works. Sanders missed some early reads on that play, but he does a great job of instead extending the play. Little scramble drill action with him and Njoku, who's able to get himself open. And Sanders perfectly lobs up the pass for an unbelievable touchdown. I don't know how that worked. Later in the fourth quarter now, around 5.5 minutes, they're going for it on fourth down. Fatsani Elias is the starting quarterback. He was the rookie drafted out of North Texas last year under pressure. Elias has all day, and it's batted at the line. Why is Myles Garrett in the game? Against these poor backup offensive linemen. That should be illegal. Red zone alert. The offense has it nearing the end zone. Dylan Gabriel is now in at quarterback. I still want to get him some reps as well, as Quinshon Judkins powers through in for a touchdown. The Browns looking to go 2-0 in the preseason. It looks like we should be able to, despite a slow start over the last 2.5 quarters. The offense has been productive. The defense has been pretty solid as we end up taking the win 31-14. An impressive victory here in week 2 of the preseason for the Cleveland Browns. A really strong outing, not just from Kieran Riddle, but all the quarterbacks actually played quite well. And we've got ourselves a dilemma with both Kieran Riddle and Shedeur Sanders meeting the mark up to this point, with 1 week left to go in the preseason, which will be more of a dress rehearsal for us with a lot of the starters starting. As we take a look at the final numbers, all 3 of our quarterbacks ended up with passer ratings above 100. The biggest standout, though, was the rookie Kieran Riddle. 13 of 15, 153 yards, 86% completion percentage, 2 touchdowns, and his average throw went for at least 10 yards. That is pretty impressive. Sanders, 6 for 11, 85 and a score. Gabriel missed no throws. He was perfect. We didn't run the ball very well, other than Riddle. Njoku was good. Thrash was good. Sahara had a touchdown. Jontre Hickson has honestly been better than Sahara, though, in the preseason. And then defensively, a few TFLs. Myles Garrett on the board with a sack. So we're 2-0 with 1 preseason game left to go. Hey, Coach, I've been thinking about my development. I don't want this to be the last look I get at earning a starting spot. Well, I mean, it is, given that it's our last preseason game. So, I mean, I don't know what he's worried about. Obviously, it's your last chance. I do want to worry about the vertical passing, though. That's kind of the one area of this game that's weak. We had a lot of guys get dinged up there against the Commanders, including our 3rd and 4th string running backs. Talib Bashar and Bam Knight are both going on IR, and we need replacements. So I signed Kendre Miller, the veteran, former Saint, and Tyreek Booker, the undrafted rookie out of West Virginia. So we'll see if one or both of them can make the roster, backing up Judkins and Sampson.
A new rookie class has joined the team. There are a lot of hopes for this group, and one player was drafted to make an immediate impact in the lineup.
I wonder if they're going to show an actual rookie this time. Oh my goodness, it's a rookie! It's Kieran Riddle. Welcome to your new home, Kieran. We have big plans. We sure do have big plans. Now, unfortunately, it's the exact same cutscene that we got for Jeremiah Owusu-Koramoah, so there's nothing really new we can do here. I've already made it a point with Riddle that I want to get him to speed quick, so he has a chance to potentially start for us right off the bat. So we didn't really learn anything or do anything new with our rookie quarterback, but at least we know he's excited to be here. Because, well, I mean, it is Cleveland, so I would understand if he's a little bit hesitant. So with one more game in the preseason, the plan is that Kieran Riddle will get the start for our dress rehearsal, if you will, against the Seahawks. I want to see him with our first team offense now. A lot of these guys haven't played a whole lot. Judkins has played a little bit. Sampson hasn't really played at all. Judy hasn't played at all. Most of the offensive line hasn't played at all. So I want him to get chemistry with these guys. Even if he doesn't win the starting job, I mean, he's going to play at some point this year. And then defensively, I'm excited to get all these guys back from injury. JOK and Martin Emerson, who missed all of last year, they're both going to play a lot. Carson Schlesinger coming off a torn pec. Mason Graham coming off a broken fibula. Those guys are going to play a lot. Good to have them back. Myles Garrett, who missed the end of last year with an injury, he'll be back. I don't know exactly what the defense is going to look like early in the year since most of our best players are rusty, coming off of major injuries. So it may certainly be a growing experience, which is why I want to have them on the field now so they can at least have a game under their belt against a solid Seahawks offense. We're driving down the field here with Kieran Riddle and company as we have a 3rd down and 3 at the 27 in the rain of Seattle. Riddle joined by Dylan Sampson in the backfield. Sampson gets the ball. Sampson breaks a tackle, gets the first down. Good power running by Dylan Sampson, who never had a consistent role with us last year, but I thought he played well, and I certainly am going to make him more of a focal point this year. Another 3rd down, now 3rd and 8 at the 21. Sampson stays in at running back. That one is caught. Certainly not enough for the first down, though. It's Jabari Thrash, who was wrapped up by Jackson Hovercraft, the first-round corner out of LSU, drafted with the pick directly after our guy Dorian Sahara. So the Browns are on the board, only getting a field goal, though. We'll see if the offense gives us another shot to hop in with Riddle. It's actually the defense here in the second quarter. Seattle's moving it. Year 2 of Sam Darnold, made the playoffs a year ago. As Darnold looks to throw it on 3rd down. That one is broken up. Dominic Proctor, the rookie from Arizona, jars it out of the hands of Jackson Smith-Njigba. Seattle's kind of in a sticky spot because Kenneth Walker actually, he suffered a season-ending triceps injury, so they're going to be without their top running back this year. Zach Charbonnet will presumably be the starter. I'm a little surprised the Seahawks didn't draft another one because, well, that's kind of what they do. But I guess the Eagles stole all the skill position players this year since they ended up with about 20 of them. Tied at 3 with under 3 to go in the first half. Could be Kieran Riddle's last opportunity to prove why he should be the starter with Shedeur Sanders and Dylan Gabriel both set to play in the second half. 3rd and 6 off the blitz. Riddle has no time. It's Byron Murphy in the backfield with the sack, forcing a loss of 8. Not a whole lot Kieran could have done there other than sit in the pocket and take it. So the defense of Seattle stops our offense. We continue to really not move the ball very well. Kieran Riddle has had a relatively quiet game. Defense has got to get a stop here in the red zone. 1st down at the 12. I just don't want a lot of time to go off the board. I want the offense to have a chance, but obviously we're not going to let them in. As Jackson Smith-Njigba gets it to the 2. Surprised they didn't give him the first down, though. I thought he got it. 2nd and inches. Darnold steps up, scrambles, and he is in. Sammy Slinger, Sam Darnold in for a touchdown, and the Seahawks take the lead. It's 10-3. We'll see what Kieran Riddle and company can do. Well, it's not looking great. There's only 9 seconds left, and we don't have any timeouts. 3rd and inches, play action. Riddle scrambles around, hoping for the best on the run, and he's just going to have to throw it away. It's going to be up to a Hail Mary. Good pressure by Montrell Coleman, drafted in the 3rd round by Miami. He had the scoop and score against Virginia Tech late last year. Riddle for the end zone. He's got a cannon, and it is broken away in and out of the hands of Thrash. Kieran Riddle can absolutely sling it, though. He's got a really strong arm. Maybe not as strong as Zarius Stone or Isaiah Timp, but his arm talent is really impressive. Offense hasn't been great, though, in the first half, and now Kieran Riddle hopes on fate. Shedeur Sanders set to play most of the remainder of this game. We'll see some Dylan Gabriel as well. 3rd and 18 at the 50. Darnold and the starters still in for Seattle. Look at Kupp. He's going to get the first down. How did we not bring him down earlier? That's a horrible display of tackling. What were we doing there? An embarrassing effort by the defense. It's not like Cooper Kupp is like dancing around with his juke moves. Cooper Kupp's like pushing 40 years old. We'll have a chance to redeem ourselves here on 3rd and 7. Darnold scrambles under pressure, throws it away. Myles Garrett in the backfield. I'm excited to have him back for another year. Garrett was not himself in the second half of the season a year ago after he looked like the Defensive Player of the Year early in the season. He still won the AFC Defensive Player of the Year, even missing a couple games at the end by virtue of how good he was early. Late in the third and 2. Sanders to Njoku again. These two guys are certainly in sync this preseason. Njoku in for the score, signed a 3-year extension in the offseason. A guy who I really want to build around. I think him and Harold Fannin can be a really good duo together. As that brings us near the fourth quarter, we might have Dillon Gabriel play a large chunk of the fourth quarter. And we'll see what he can do over the next 10 minutes, trying to lock up that QB3 spot, although he's not competing with anyone. It's not like we're going to give it to Deshaun Watson. 3rd and 7 at the 15. Gabriel looks to throw. It'll go short. Sampson steps out of bounds. That was a walk-in touchdown. And he kept the feet in. Field goal unit on. This is Dustin Hopkins, not the rookie Kisharchik, as he splits the uprights. I wanted to give both guys an opportunity to prove themselves in the preseason. So Cleveland adds a field goal, but still certainly some work to do. We'll continue to move forward now. A big 3rd down for the offense with 5:50 to go. Dillon Gabriel and friends looking to lead the charge in a tie game as it's Sampson. Tries to bounce off a blocker. Does not get the first down. Big stop by Seattle. 4th and 3 at the 41. Good TFL by Byron Murphy. He's had a nice game. So we decided to punt it, and the defense ultimately gets the stop. So now the offense with 3:16 left to go. We'll see if they can potentially take the lead. Here's Dillon Gabriel. Flushes right on the run. Gabriel scrambles, gets a great block from 83. Tez Johnson. You want to make the final roster? Block. Tez Johnson does exactly that. No block, no rock. From the 41, Gabriel to the left. On the run, he's got Isaiah Bond. Bond puts the Browns into field goal range, and now we can try to be a little strategic with the clock. Make sure Seattle doesn't get it back with too much time. 3rd and 5 at the 24. Gabriel goes short. Bond again. First down to the 18. Now the offense is really in business. 2nd and 9. Gabriel. Johnson. Touchdown! The dynamic duo from the University of Oregon connects for the score. In the 1 year that Gabriel and Tez Johnson were together, Johnson finished 2nd all-time in Oregon history in receptions in a single season. The only guy ahead of him, Tez Johnson from the prior year, with his brother Bo Nix at quarterback. So now the defense has got to get a stop with Jalen Milroe in at quarterback for Seattle. Here's Zach Charbonnet to the outside. Spins out of bounds, stopping the clock. One of the offensive linemen hurt for Seattle. We'll see what they can get out of Milroe. They're hoping he can take a leap in his development. From the 35, way overthrows his target. Good coverage by JOK. 4th and 10 at the 35. Seattle's got to go for it. Milroe looks to throw it. A couple of Alabama quarterbacks battling it out in this game as that one is hauled in for a first down near the 50. Coach Mike McDonald uses a timeout, one of the bright young coaching stars of the NFL. Milroe scrambles under pressure. Look at all that room. Too easy. Jalen Milroe to the 30. Another timeout for Seattle as they look to potentially tie the game late with Charbonnet in motion, lined as a receiver with under a minute to go. Milroe scrambles, caught at the 13-yard line. Our defense is selling it here. Ricky White with the reception. A couple plays later, Seattle clocks it on 3rd down, and it's a 4th and 1 at the 3. This is essentially the ball game. With the perfect preseason on the line, Milroe, touchdown! Big game Gabe. Gabe Davis with the score. There is no overtime in the NFL preseason, so this game will end with a tie, 20-20. So I guess we keep our undefeated postseason. We didn't lose. We didn't win every game, but we didn't lose. 2-0-1. The preseason for the Browns here in year number 2. As we take a look at the numbers for this game, certainly a worse performance from Kieran Riddle. He was certainly not as effective as he was against the Commanders. Shedeur Sanders, 7 of 8, 93 in a score. Gabriel, 9 of 12, 91 in a score, along with a pick. Both of them outplayed Riddle, who only averaged 2.8 yards per attempt. On the ground, Dylan Sampson got a bulk of the touches. He was pretty solid. Judkins got dinged up, which is not ideal. 6 receptions for Sampson. Njoku, 4 in a score. Judy had 3. Quiet preseason, though, for the rookie Dorian Sahara. He had a couple splash plays but we didn't get a whole lot out of him just yet. And then defensively, good overall. Mike Hall Jr., a sack and a half. He, of course, had that crazy preseason last year. Didn't really translate until the end of the year where he finally started to pick it up. But look at this, 2 injuries. DeJuan Jones, our number 3 tackle, broken collarbone, and then Quinshon Judkins, dislocated elbow. Not a long-term injury for Judkins, but I would expect him to miss the first game or two. Given that we've already lost our RB3 and our RB4, it's not ideal that we're also losing the RB1. DeJuan Jones, meanwhile, good depth piece. Could have come in there if either Conklin or Trent Brown struggled or got injured. So as we take a look at the final stats, the biggest takeaway for me is that both quarterbacks played really well. Kieran Riddle and Shedeur Sanders were both accurate, 68 and 70% respectively. Neither of them threw an interception, both of them with 3 scores. Sanders' yards per attempt was a little bit higher, and he was sacked less. But overall, both guys were quite good, and Dylan Gabriel even was very respectable too. We didn't run the ball very well, other than Kieran Riddle, really. So I am a little concerned about why the run game struggled, and now with Quinshon Judkins out to start the year, that certainly doesn't help. Njoku leads the way through the air, Thrash with also 100 yards. I thought Jontre Hickson was good. He didn't end up playing in that last game. I think he got dinged up earlier in practice, but he certainly shows that he's belonging not just on the roster, but possibly higher on the depth chart. So our best defensive player in the preseason was Baron Browning, I think. 3 TFLs, 2 sacks. We signed him at the beginning of the episode with the other free agents, but he's a guy who I think is talented. We've worked with before in the Broncos series. I am going to keep 4 quarterbacks on the roster. We will pretend as if Deshaun Watson does not exist. And then after this year, we're finally out of his contract, guys. I cannot wait. At running back, we only have 3 healthy, and 2 of them we just signed this week. So Dylan Sampson's going to have to play a big role for us to start the year. At receiver, these lower-rated guys will make the practice squad, but I think we are going to roll with 6. Tez Johnson makes the team. Jontre Hickson makes the team as well. And now really the question is who starts alongside Judy? Will Dorian Sahara be the number 2 guy? Kyle and Granson will be cut. Brendan Bates makes the roster. On the offensive line, the rookie, Marquel Cobbs out of Ohio State, does make the team. The other rookies do, although Jonah Ritter was kind of an obvious one, but Deshaun Stewart wasn't. He was picked in the 7th round. We are going to roll with these veteran edge rushers, Joshua Pascal, Baron Browning. They'll play a lot. We'll see some Jervis Dexter as well, and then obviously Myles Garrett, of course. As for the linebackers, we're going to roll with these 5. Denzel Perryman and Nethi Sewell, we signed late in the process, needing depth. Both of them will make the team. We'll cut this group of corners. We've got a couple of young safeties I've got to make decisions on. I think we're going to have both Kai Abiamiri, the undrafted rookie, and Donovan McMillan go to the practice squad. So only one undrafted rookie, the guard Markel Cobbs from Ohio State, ends up making the final roster. But with that, we have cut everyone, including Dustin Hopkins. So, there's 2 undrafted rookies. Paul Kasharchik from Maryland will be the starting kicker. The Dustin Hopkins era is no more, and we are now in week number 1. The Tampa Bay Buccaneers head to Cleveland. It's kind of fitting that Kieran Riddle's possibly debut, if we choose to make him the starter, is against the Bucs, given that they have Cleveland's most recent number 1 quarterback pick, Baker Mayfield. I signed Jerome Illuminor knowing we would need another tackle with the injury to DeJuan Jones. Mekhi Wingo, meanwhile, he was on our practice squad last year. I believe he'll be going back to the practice squad. So now we've got to decide who's going to be the starter here in week 1 against the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. Tampa Bay's going into this game banged up, just like we are. 5 key starters are out, but that means younger guys like Amani Law will be looking at a bigger role. Who will be the starter for us at quarterback? I'm going to make you guys wait until the next episode, but it's going to be in like 2 days, so you're not going to have to wait too long. And then we've got week 1 against Baker Mayfield, Amani Law, and the Buccaneers.